Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I wanted to talk about a deck that is very, very expensive. And I'm not talking about with money or dollars, I'm talking about in points, in Genesis points. This deck has more cards worth more points than 100, so you can't even play copies of every card you want to play. Now, it only just barely goes 100, but you still have to make a tough choice for what you want to play. And this also means you cannot play very generic cards that are worth points at all. So you have to make those big sacrifices to play this deck. And the deck I'm talking about is Fire King. Fire King is a deck that is one, very strong, very, very resilient, and can do a lot and break a lot of boards and go first and second. It's one of the best parts about it. Now, my deck, I have this deck extremely, extremely simplified with a few things that may be a little unorthodox to a lot of people, but I want to go over my reasoning and why I think it's really good. And when the main thing I wanted to discuss is that just because your deck is worth a lot of points, and that your whole engine might be points, don't discourage playing the deck because of that. I think you can definitely have success in the format even without playing generic cards if the engine is just strong enough. So I think this deck is a perfect example of that. Again, this list is just a something that you can take with you and then you can edit it from there. I always encourage creativity and deck building. Do not just like completely net deck and then just expect the deck to work as perfectly fine. I always improve, change, do everything you have to do to make the deck your own. We're going to talk about the deck, jump into the profile, and I have a replay at the end about how I out-grinded Vanquish Soul in a game, which was pretty fun. That was crazy to see. I never thought I'd see the day, but without something like Rock the Vanquisher, you can do it, especially in a deck like this. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Please subscribe if you enjoy, and if you're buying any cards off TCG Player, please use the affiliate link down below. All right, let's get into it. All right, guys, so here is the deck. As you can see, the big elephant in the room. 3 Kieran, 3 Ponix, and 2 Ulcanix. You can obviously switch around this ratio. I have seen people play 2 Ponix, 2 Kieran, and 3 Ulcanix. I am a believer of 3. The 3 Ponix is kind of more of a consistency boost. I'm not really. You're trading consistency for consistency, right? It's either you are taking out 1 Ponix for the 3rd Ponix, or you get to play the 3rd Kieran, or I mean for the 3rd Ulcanix. So your consistency is not going up any higher if you're switching the Ponix with the Ulcanix. While the Ulcanix is a better starter, it's not better enough for me in this format to where I'm want to warrant sacrificing a whole Kieran. And I'm saying the whole Kieran. This is the best card in your deck. It's like not even close to me. Non-target destruction has always been some of the best removal in Yu-Gi-Oh's history. I would never want to sacrifice any copies of a card that can do it, especially this deck can run out of it if you don't manage your resources properly. And I never want to let that happen. I always want my Kierans available live to be able to beat whatever I need to beat. And that is why I'm going with 3 Kieran, and the fact that it's a hand trap to give you going second options, right? Like this is the best hand trap that you are probably going to have in this deck. It is ridiculous. That is, again, in engine, hand trap. This card is almost as comparable to me as like Holly Sue and Vanquish Soul. It's gross. It's so gross because it's so broken. So that is my explanation for this ratio. I think sacrificing a Kieran for an Ulcanix is not worth it in my opinion. Ponix, I absolutely would. If it was just Ponix, totally, I have no problem with that. Kieran, though, I can't sacrifice a Kieran for Ulcanix. I'll just play the 3rd Ponix for consistency. So again, besides those, we are playing the 1 copy of Rangbali and Arvada. These are just your negates that are very generic. Arvada is obviously better for the secondary effect, but yeah, very, very strong cards. 3 copies of Garunix, 3 copies of Jirak Megalo. This being paired with Kieran on turn 0 is such a sacky hand trap combination, but my god, is it broken. It is so disgusting, the fact that you can board wipe on turn 0 on demand, on their end phase. You can just wait till end phase and be like, all right, I'm just gonna Jirak Meteor you in your end phase now, and completely destroy everything. For those of you who don't know, you can Kieran quick effect pop this, use his effect to dump Jirak Astero. Astero is a quick effect in the graveyard to banish itself and another dinosaur to special summon Jirak Meteor, and it counts as a synchro summon, thus you can trigger it to destroy all cards on the field. Hilarious. And then on top of that, you can trigger the Avatar Kieran that's destroyed off the meteor to then go into maybe something else that you could have. It's so insane. So very funny combination, very broken, but this card being able to be on command board wipe is no joke, especially in Genesis format. Board wipes are very few and far between, and the fact that you get to play this card with triple copies of both these in the extra deck is actually kind of crazy. 1 copy of the old Garunix, a special off the Ulcanix still. And believe it or not, I don't even like the standby phase effect that much. I actually like the battle effect. This card is like really annoying to deal with because they think they don't want to deal with the destruction effect, but when in reality, like getting this special summon from deck can help so much. Sometimes it's so good. It's so good. We're also playing some fire non-engine. I think it's a good way to put it. So for the fire non-engine we're playing is the Rescuer's Impulse and the Fire Attacker package. This is very strong. Puts a body fire monster on board, especially in this deck. Puts the body on board, and then be able to get draw 2, discard 1, clear your deck. Maybe get like a Garunix in the graveyard rather than your hand because it doesn't make way much of a difference of where it is. Clean up your hand a little bit, a little hand fixer. Then I'm also playing 3 copies of Dolgaron the Kaiju. This is, again, it's a fire monster. You can pop it with Island. That's always a benefit rather than maybe possibly bricking on non-fire monsters. But this card also being able to out things like Liger Dancer versus Lunalite, which is very popular in this format. Especially the other deck is Super Quants. Super Quants have been getting a lot of popularity, and they are ending on Great Magnus. Now, Super Quant will actually have follow-up. Lunalite might not. But I do want to play triple Dolgaron so that if they do go double Liger Dancer, or if they do make another copy of Great Magnus later in the game, you're prepared for that. You can deal with it, and Dolgaron's obviously really good for that. The other last fire monster I'm playing is Makamoto Dragon. I don't know if there's a lot of people who are going to know what this card does. This is a card that it might have came in the Fire King structure deck, to be honest. I don't remember. But this is a really cool card. So the first effect doesn't matter too much. You really never use this. You can banish 3 fires from your graveyard to it gains 400 attack for each one you banish till the end of the turn. That's whatever. You can make it 3,000. Whoop-de-doo. But if a face-up fire monster you control is destroyed by card effect while it's in the graveyard, you can special it, banish it when it leaves the field, then draw 1 card. So what's going to happen is if you are triggering your Fire King Island, or if you're triggering your Garunix, or you destroy something with your Arvada, it's Fire King. You're destroying cards. So when anything is destroyed by a card effect, you now get this essentially an infinite resource loop of specialing this guy back and drawing. The draw is really important. It's a huge part of this card. It's awesome the fact that you can get this. So being able to do this, special it back, and then overlay with it into something like the Garunity Eternity, with something like the Sacred King Garunix, because this is also going to trigger on your destruction effect. So you get both of these back off each destruction, make a Sacred Garunix to be able to wipe the board, have a draw in hand, and then keep playing from there is really, really good. It's non-stop is what realistically, it's a pain in the ass to deal with. As an opponent going against this, it's really annoying to deal with if your deck is not built like around like spinning cards back to the deck and doing non-destruction forms of removal. And even then, it could still be annoying if you're sitting on a Kieran and you can just keep forcing it on your opponent's turn too, or you're sitting on a Dirac in the graveyard, forcing it that way. Like you can force these things to happen and draw out the game. And as the games go on, more than likely it's going to be in your favor, and that's the biggest upside about this deck, in my opinion. So for the other Fire King spells, I am playing 3 copies of Sanctuary and 3 copies of Island. This might seem weird to people, but this goes into a consistency problem with Fire King. Again, we don't have 3 Ulcanics, so we want to be able to play as much as possible. This is what this is for. You really only have 3 copies of Ponix, 2 copies of Ulcanex, and then 3 copies of Sanctuary, 3 copies of Island, and then you have 3 copies of Seven Tachyon as your last consistency cards. This can be able to use the search, Ulcanex by revealing the Battle Boxer. That's the second reason why I didn't want to play the third Ulcanex, is because you have Seven Tachyon to also be able to search it, and you're really only exceeding in this deck for the most part. So the main thing is that you have 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 1-card lines, or 1-card lines. I should use that very loosely because Ulcanex technically isn't a 1-card line. But the point is you can get your engine going very easily with any of these 14 cards in your hand. That's not including Pot of Extravagance also, which is very nice. So you get the extra benefit of being able to play extra because this card is still cracked at 0 points, so we're going to use it. And then we play 2 copies of Fire King Skyburn. Again, this Quick Effect Destruction, awesome, great card, as well as the protection in the graveyard can be very useful. I've used it before, and it's a great aspect to have for the deck. And again, you want more grind game, so I think more of this card is very fitting for this format, to say the least. And if you have Ponix and you already have Island, you just get Skyburn. It's completely fine. I know, you can get redundant eventually as the games go on, but if your game's going on, it's already going in your favor, and I think that's the best way to play it. For the extra deck, very, very simple. We have 3 copies of Estero and 3 copies of Meteor, 3 copies of 105, 3 copies of Garunix, 1 Vermilion, 1 Black Rose, and 1 Ding Girsu. So I am playing Ding because I wanted something that can out essentially anything and getting around a lot of effects. So Ding is really, really good at that. That's literally what I wanted for non-destruction removal. It's also very unexpected because it's on summon. So like when they think that maybe you're worried about this, about destruction, and maybe they're protected from destruction, I wanted something that can catch them off guard and maybe go for back row on summon and non-targeting back row to say the least. On something like Ding can catch a lot of people off guard. So that's why I'm playing Ding. Next up, the two synchros. Both of these kind of go hand in hand. This is because the Dirac monster is actually a tuner. So what you're able to do is if you go Kieran or Impulse on your opponent's turn 1, and you have Kieran or what's it called, Fire Attacker sitting on your board, you can actually normal summon the Dirac and synchro for one of these bodies. Black Rose, I especially like being able to just nuke the board, is so good, especially in this deck in Fire Kings, because this is also, keep in mind, a fire monster. Again, being destroyed by a card effect, it destroys itself, which again can trigger Sacred King or Runix, which is hilarious. But yeah, being able to make Vermilion to be able to banish the Dirac to destroy a card. Then when it's destroyed, you can get back the Dirac is very nice. It has a little flavor that you get to get out of it. Obviously, the extra deck's very simple because of extravagance. Going into the side deck, I am playing 3 copies of Emissary of House of Wax. So there is a floating like couple OTK decks around the format that like kind of push and just try to kill you. That's why this is in here. So Gem Knight is one of them. Gem Knight is a go second strategy that can just OTK you. That's really what it's trying to do. So I am playing this fire card that essentially acts as a Gorz. So it's an illusion monster, so it has the illusion text that it can't be destroyed by battle. When your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon it from the hand. If this battles a monster, neither can be destroyed by battle. At the end of the opponent's battle phase, you can activate this effect until the start of your opponent's next battle phase. All attack position monsters your opponent controls currently cannot change their battle positions nor be used as Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link. Also, their effects are negated. So you're able to kind of like lock them there in that moment, which is fine because you really just need that extra turn to survive that and then push back into them, and you're usually okay. So having this card in rotation, I think, is very nice versus those kind of more cheesier strategies in the format, and something you should be aware of. And being a fire monster, again, is huge. If you're bricking on this card, you can just destroy it off island and kind of continue playing from there by searching Garunix. 3 Flying Sea. This is almost like a staple, I feel like, in the side deck at this point. 3 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Again, another card I feel like is possibly a staple alongside Dark Ruler No More. Also, like, these are all just very strong cards in the format. They are all crazy. So I think these are all pretty good. Lastly is Solemn Scolding. This is a card that is highly debatable. Again, it's a 0-point card, so let's get that straight. This is a Solemn card that is 0 points. You can play something like Iron Thunder. I think that is a completely values trade-off. Both of the cards are good. I just wanted some good generic going first card that I think would work in this deck. And I think Solemn Scolding does the job very well. You can hit cards like a big one that you can hit that Iron Thunder can't hit. Again, I'm going to go back to Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul did win the Invitational, so that is going to be assuming the top of the meta, right? Shout out to Eddie, by the way, for winning that. Great guy. The thing that I wanted to mention, though, was that Solemn Scolding, being able to negate a in-hand effect of a Vanquish Soul is very important, especially if you're doing an effect that is targeting, like a big scenario is that you do something to a Vanquish Soul monster on the field. They activate a guy in hand to bounce it back to their hand to protect it and keep their engine flowing. If you counter trap that guy in the hand, again, strike is worth points, so you can't do it with strike. But if you scolding, I've done this before too on DB, if you scolding that card in their hand, they can't chain, dodge, and maneuver their plays here. You just get to take out the 2 Vanquish Soul monsters, one from the hand now and one from the field, gone. That is huge against Vanquish Soul. You're taking away 2 attributes for them, especially a chainable guy. You're stopping their resource loop. That can cause a huge hindrance in their strategy and really affect how they're going to play for the future of their turns. So I really like Scolding right now. I don't know anything better currently. There might be something better, but for now, I think this is a fine choice. Again, I more than welcome. Please improve the decks. I really want you to improve on these and use these more of a baseline for how you want to play. But that is going to be it for the deck itself. I want to go over a replay again with you guys. Just a game of me grinding out a Vanquish Soul player. I think it was really hilarious how this kind of went down. I do not play perfectly, so do not judge me too hard, but let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, guys, so here is the replay very quickly. Unfortunately, my Vanquish Soul opponent activates cards in his hand to reveal them, so it is pretty annoying, but I just want to kind of give you guys the rundown of this game. It's pretty hilarious. It's a little long, but it's pretty fun. So as you can see, even my hand, again, I do not play this perfectly, and my hand is not great. And his hand is pretty good. He has Ryzen, Start, Pot, Impulse is going second. Like, there's a lot of stuff going for him here. So yeah. Also very interesting. I actually do like the Onomat stuff in here because they do line up with the attributes, and I think it works really well. So shout out to him for like playing this. I think it's like kind of a scary strategy. But besides the point. So I do get to go first, and my hand is obviously unoptimal. So we are going to try our best with this one. So we're going to go Kieran effect to destroy the Magma Dragon, because we want him in the graveyard, to special summon our Garunix. We are going to go Garunix effect. Here, there is no, like, card I can destroy to really get a starter going, right? Like this, like the start is essentially this, is this Garunix like resource looping. So I'm trying to think of a play where I actually can continue playing later on. So what I end up doing is dumping the, what's it called? The Okanex, because it was going to be Okanex or Ponix. And my head, I need to survive. Survival is the number one thing that I need to do here. So I see Okanex as the method to do that. So we're going to go Okanex to summon out Garunix in defense. And then we are going to overlay those two for the Eternity Garunix. And then that's it. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Very simple. We don't need to do a lot. This is more layered than you might think, which is kind of funny. So the reason being is that if this is threatened, like we kind of have like a bomb sitting here. First of all, this floats, right? This is a floating thing. If we also get to judge how, if they think we're going to kill us, if we think they're going to kill us, or if they're going to kill it by card effect, kind of makes me think where they're at in their head. But if this gets threatened by, let's say, a non-targeting, non-destruction form of removal, we have the extra Kieran locked and loaded to be able to destroy this, bring back two guys, and then we can trigger the Okanex and the High King Garunix to be able to destroy, get Ponix. Like we can do a lot if this gets threatened. If they can't deal with it, so we're putting the baton to them, right? Like they have to find the out for this card, which is like Fire King does that a lot. A lot of the time, you tell them like, hey, deal with it. You find a way to deal with it. So yeah, here they're gonna pot Extrav, normal summon Ryzen, get Halisu, and again, he activates things in his hand to reveal them. So he's gonna go start to add Caesar Valius. Next, he is going to go activate Halisu, revealing the Borger, special summoning the Halisu. And then from here, he's going to use Halisu to, reveal Burger and Impulse to summon out the Jiaolong from deck. Activate Jiaolong's effect, revealing Impulse and the Fire Attacker to be able to search. And from here, it's becoming more and more apparent to me. Obviously, I'm going to Impulse here to get the draw 2 and discard 1 while he's searching. But the thing that I wanted to really disclose here, I suppose, is Vanquish still doesn't have a lot of good outs for this. So the two outs are what most Vanquish Soul decks, I would say, are the two outs is, Dr. Madlove has a bounce, and Nash Knight is a absorb. So there's really only two, and Dr. Madlove is only dependent on, I believe it's attack or defense stat. So Nash Knight is a real problem. Doesn't target and absorbs the monster. So that's the one that you need to be aware of when you're thinking. You have to know your opponent's outs, essentially. So I'm holding this Kieran for dear life. I am not using this card until I see a threat. And you're going to see why in a minute. We draw this. Yep, there's the threat. Threat's here. We made it. So obviously he's going to try to absorb my Garunix Eternity. I don't want to let that happen. Why would I let that happen? So we're going to activate Kieran. Even if he takes the Kieran, we don't care what he takes. We have this is now triggered and locked and loaded to bring back guys that we want. And we have the Sacred King Garunix in here. So now, and the craziest part about this card is this card doesn't target. So DD Crow is a very popular hand trap in the format. This card, I'm telling you, this card's a pain. It's a big pain in the butt to deal with, to say the least. So he's going to Nash Knight to take our Kieran. That's fine. And we're going to go Garunix effect. And then from here, he's thinking he's going to Crow the Sacred King Garunix. That's fine. We don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. So we're going to special out our Okanex and Kieran. Then we can use Okanex to destroy the Kieran. And then we're able to search our Garunix because we don't want him to go into the C Nash Knight either. So now the Kieran and the Garunix can trigger. So we got rid of the Garunix. We still get to the Garunix. And then he can use Ryzen to go for the destroy. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Garunix is going to summon. We're going to bring back our Spell Negate just as like a threat. Pop the Nash Knight. And then we're able to use, again, our Garunix on field. And then we can get ready with some follow-up. Now, keep in mind, again, I did not play this perfectly. I didn't even use this guy. There's a free draw sitting in my graveyard. I just completely ignored it. Now, there's an argument to not doing it, to saving it for, what's it called? For your turn for an exceed play. I think I just forgot. I don't really remember. But the point is, you could have got an extra draw here too. I'm just not playing it perfectly. But this deck is so good and frustrating for the opponent to deal with that they can't deal with it. His hand is a bunch of Vanquish Soul Engine and a couple of non-engine cards that aren't helping him. But like, that is the Vanquish Soul deck right now. It's just non-engine cards and Vanquish Soul cards. So now we draw Island. We were going to get to Island anyway because we have Ponix coming. So he's going to use Borger to draw. Sure, don't care. So now we're going to get Ponix back. And we're going to go into our main phase. And now we are able to just play. We can just play off the rip. We want to clear what we can. Force him to use his Vanquish Soul activations. But why not threaten the High King Garunix again? We can just do it again. This card is just a pain. It's just always a threat. We're going to summon this. Board wipe him. Why not? He doesn't have Halisu in hand. So he has to respect it. So he's going to just do all of his effects, revealing, protect his guy, and of course. But we're going to activate all of our cards now. And we can just keep playing. He's going to search out Halisu again. Perfectly fine. Don't care. Special our Ponix. Special our guy back to draw a card. Take 18. Don't care. Draw a pot. Of course, later in the main phase. Bring back our Kieran and our Big Chicken. Activate Fire King Island. Like, we're just so loaded. We're already so loaded. Like, it just doesn't matter. It's like crazy how ahead we feel at this moment. So from here, we're able to use our Sacred King Garunix to bring back Garunix effect to be able to dump the Ponix. So now we're locked and loaded again. By the way, I just noticed I didn't even use Ponix my special summon from the hand. I should have gotten the quick play spell. This is like, what I'm saying, like, I'm not even playing this perfectly and the deck still feels kind of crazy. This is what I'm talking about. Like, it's such a pain in the butt to deal with. So now we're going to overlay those two for Ding. And this is that threat I was talking about, being able to just clear something that they're not expecting. So now they get to lose something that they didn't want to lose. So we're going to get rid of one of the raisins and just clear it off. Then we were able to just go battle phase. It's like, all right, still main phase 1. You want to summon Caesar? Sure, summon Caesar. I don't care. I'll try to negate it. But you can go Halisu now. All right, that's fine too. The point is, Caesar's not hitting the field at this moment. So now he's more in a predicament of like, he can't clear anything. He's in an awkward spot, and he does everything too late, in my opinion. And I think he was waiting. I think he played it greedily because I think he wanted the Caesar later to be able to pop the island to clear my board, but he wasn't expecting the Ding. I think the Ding is what got him because now he can go Caesar, and I don't care because what's he going to Caesar? I have protection now from anything I want to be able to destroy. So he's going to go Caesar to reveal his 3 later than what I personally feel like I would have done. But he got greedy, in my opinion. And now when my island's destroyed, I also purposely let island get destroyed because I don't want it to threaten myself anymore. I have enough engine going. I don't even think I need island anymore. I protect myself with Ding. And then look at this. Destroyed. Gone. Destroyed. Attribute gone. Boom. Destroyed. Attribute gone. Look what he's left with, guys. He's only left with Raisin and attributes and a Caesar. This is like, it's just a cakewalk. Like, we're already there. He's in such a bad spot already. He's got 1 Halisu left. We already went through a Nash Knight. So he's got, realistically, what, 1 more push? This is so awkward for him. He would have to kill me to be able to push through this. So he's going to go activate Raisin. Don't care. We're going to go Arvada. Arvada could be able to destroy something. Destroy our Kieran. And now, this, not only, so like, we know he has 2 Halisus. So normal summon Raisin to be able to search the 3rd Halisu. We're going to negate it. And now we're putting him on, not only am I going to let you get to the 3rd Halisu? I'm going to put you on, you have to have the 3rd Halisu to be able to keep playing. So what he does is reveal, these 2 to be able to still get a body on field, which is good. I'm happy you did this because it actually shows, like, sometimes they still have, like, that 1 extra push, and this is that extra push is this Jianlong. I did not intend, I thought this was going to be a turn ender, but he actually had the extra Jianlong. Obviously, he hasn't been using Stake Your Souls the whole game. He hasn't drawn them. But again, being able to use the Jianlong was something that threw me off. So he gets to play a little bit more than I was expecting. Use the Jianlong to still get to the Halisu. At this point, I was really nervous, actually. I was like, oh my god, I think I just threw because I didn't expect this. But it's so funny the way this works. I just remember Ponix later on because it's mandatory. And so he goes, Halisu, reveal the same thing. Dark, Fire, and he specials out. Normal stuff. finally gets to Dr. Madwell to be able to get the start. And then he goes activate field spell, use field spell. We activate our guy to negate it, just to destroy it. And then we can use our Arvada to be able, and our guy in graveyard, the special back, and draw a card. Again, pressure keeps coming and coming and coming. Float, 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 float. And now he's in this awkward spot where even if he goes into a Nash Knight, it doesn't even matter. That's the third Holly Stew that's gone. The raisins are almost all gone. Like, he's running out of resources, and I have still had plenty of resources to go. So that was just the example game I wanted to show. Again, I misplayed that terribly. I could have played that so much better. I missed activations. I missed triggers. I could have played it so much better. But this deck, I'm telling you, it's a pain for Vanquish to deal with when you know what the outs are. When you hold your interruptions for the cards that you know are going to mess you up, like the Nash Knight. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's kind of a lot. It's a lot of information thrown at you like very quickly for a game. And this is me even telling you that I'm messing up. But there's a lot going on. And for a deck like this, you have to know what your problem cards are in their deck before they use them on you. So that way you use your interruptions properly. But that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think down below. Any upgrades to the deck, what you would change, what you would not change, anything like that. And again, please subscribe if you enjoyed. Please use the affiliate links, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.